So now I want to take you to one of the assignments that is due this week, and that's the theoretical perspectives assignment. That assignment is here. So you're going, no, I'm sorry, that assignment is here. This is the discussion. So you want to do the fill in the blank first, and there's a question at the bottom of this fill in the blank that you're actually going to answer in the discussion section. So let me show you what that looks like. So here's the theoretical perspectives. I'm sorry. I'm like, why does it say positions of developmental theories? Okay, so it's telling you you're going to use your textbook as a guide. You're going to include citations for information that you're putting on here, and you're not doing you don't have to do nature, nurture, continuous, discontinuous. It's just based on what information is being provided for each of the theorists. So if that information is not provided, then you don't include it. So there's 5 broad areas that we're going to be looking at: psychoanalytic, behaviorism, cognitive, social, cultural, and then there's the universal theory that looks at humanism and evolutionary theories, so some of your newer theories. So those are the broad categories, and under each category there's specific theorists. And these theorists might have their own theory. So one example is the psychoanalytic group included Freud and Erikson. So even though it looks like there's more than 5 areas on here, that's because more than one theorist can fall in the same group. So even though Freud and Erikson was in the psychoanalytic group, they had different theories of psychoanalytic development. So Freud's was psychosexual and Erikson was psychosocial. So as you read the textbook, you're going to understand the difference between the two, and you're going to have a better understanding of this theoretical perspective. One thing you want to do is make sure that when you're using information from the textbook, you're either going to summarize what you read and include the citation, or if you use quotes, which I really want you to focus on summarizing, but if in fact you do use information from the textbook word for word, then you need to include the quotation marks, and in that case you would want to include the page number. Okay, so this is the form that you're going to be completing, and then at the bottom it says, based on your summaries, what theorists do you believe you may agree with the most? And then you're going to respond to a classmate that may share the same views, and this is done in the discussion area. So if we look at the discussion, gotta look at the discussion. How do we get out of here? Okay, so I don't want to, sorry. There we go. So if we look at the discussion for this week, it's going to ask you that same question. And so you're going to reply by responding to that question. What theorists do you believe you may agree with the most? You want to make sure you make this post by Friday. And then no later than Sunday, you want to respond to at least one of your classmates that share the similar view as you. Okay? Make sure you adhere to the guidelines for the discussion, so answering all of the questions, writing complete sentences, no text message abbreviation. Make sure you're capitalizing the first letter in the sentence, capitalizing the word I. So those are some of the things that I've been noticing in the previous discussions. Include punctuation marks also. And so you want to meet the posting deadlines. So if you don't post by Friday, then you're going to be missing a point. If you don't respond to your classmates by Sunday, you're going to be missing a point. Also, you want to subscribe. This will send you an email alert each time a discussion is posted. You know, what I do normally is I delete. So if you're worried about your mailbox getting full, you can delete them. It's just a reminder that, oh, I have a discussion that's going on right now. And then also if someone responds to your post and you want to continue that discussion with that person, being subscribed would help alert you to that. Okay, so I know most of you know by now, but you just click reply on the discussion and you type your discussion here. Sometimes I type in Microsoft Word, so I just do all my spell checking and all that kind of stuff, and then I copy and I paste it here. But you should be able to proof your work in here also. Okay, and then of course you post your reply. Okay. You are able to add attachments. So if you had any like a visual you want to add, or some other resource to add to it, you can. Okay. So that's what's happening this week. In addition to that, you have your exam, your first exam. So I went ahead and opened it up already. Considering this your first one, I'm going to give you a little bit more time. It's worth 30 points. You have 2 hours to complete it, and you have 3 attempts. So please, each time you go in to start the exam, if you do not finish, you must save it. Otherwise, your time is going to continue to run out. And even though you might have 2 additional attempts after you open it the first time, if your time has ran out, then you no longer have any attempts. Okay? Now, I'm going to tell you a way that I am successful with taking tests. I'm taking classes too. And I don't know, if instructors would recommend this, but it's what I do. You open up the exam the first time, and then you copy all of the questions. Okay? And then you copy all of the questions, and so you edit, you click copy, and what I usually do is I usually paste it into a Microsoft Word document or something, and then from here, okay, so then you go back to the quiz, and what you want to make sure you do is save your work. Here I don't have that option because I'm in the instructor mode, but you want to save it. Okay, you save it and you get out of it, and then that will stop your time. So it should not take you more than 2 minutes to copy and paste the exam. So then that you've only used a couple of minutes of your, I think I gave you 120 minutes, your 2 hours. Okay. So now you get your textbook and you start finding the answers to the exam questions. Okay. So, okay. I'm wondering if, because I have the exam pulling questions from the test bank. So you guys are going to have to let me know if you go back in. Your questions should stay the same because you saved it. So yeah, you shouldn't have an issue with your questions changing. So just find the answers and then go back in and put your answers in. Okay, so you guys should not have to use the whole time up unless you're waiting until the last minute and you're just trying to do the exam based on your own knowledge. And that's fine too. But you remember, you want to maximize your points because the grades are based on total points and not whether or not you just did the assignments, but how many points do you add up to have, at the end to determine your grade. So that's why you want to try to max out your points, okay? Here's some lecture notes for you, and here's some YouTube videos. So this in your weekly checklist where it talks about watching at least 3 videos. So a couple of these have more than 1 video in there. So I want you to try to watch something from Vygotsky, Piaget, and Erickson. If you don't have time to watch them all, just watch at least 1 from each category. All right, that's it for this week. Toodles.